Hey guys, it's producer Ross here, and welcome to the first edition of the Self-Isolation My Ipswich Town Football Club. I'm going to be joined every week, hopefully, by different town fans about their time and their support of the club. And today I'm joined by somebody you may recognise.
It's the one with the gloves, Mr. Game Day, Thomas Seggons.
How you doing, mate? How are you getting on with this self-isolation?
Not too bad, a bit bored, but apart from that, keep them safe.
No football to talk about and moan about.
No.
I thought I'll bring you as the first one on because it'd be great to hear your memories as a town fan from, your favourite town player, your manager, your favourite town shirt. I'm wearing my favourite town shirt. Is that one of your favourites?
No. It's one of my favourites, but it's not my favourite.
Okay, we'll find it out later on. So let's get on to the first question then, mate. So, how did you become a town fan?
Well, Ipswich Town has been in the blood of the Seggons family for generations now. My gran and granddad are a town fan. My dad, my auntie and uncle is a town fan. So it's just followed on through, and here I am, still following on. A bit more miserable than they were, I expect. But apart from that, yeah, that's why I'm a town fan.
The next question is your first town game. So the year, the ground, the result. The first game you can properly remember. You remember going back and going, wow, that was a good game.
The first game that I actually remember is my first game. It was at home to Gillingham. First game of the 2004-2005 season. We won 2-1. Rich Naylor from defence, of course, but it was a headed goal scored. And also Dean Bowditch. Apart from that, I don't really remember much else about it. I just remember the score and who scored. Obviously a cracking season, and that was my first season. Before that, I was obviously listening to Brenner on the radio and watching it on TV, especially Premier League years. I remember there's sort of Liverpool games, Man United games were on TV, but my first ever game live was Gillingham.
At least that was a win. That's some people.
Yeah, thankfully.
For a win.
Yeah, well, that's I say as Joe Royal, so got quite a few wins than me. Finished playoffs. You can't really moan at that.
Plenty of goals as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned Joe Raw. Who is your favourite town manager of all time?
Well, for me personally, it's Jim Magilton. Obviously, a former Ipswich Town player, former Ipswich Town legend, going on to manage the team, taking up to sort of new levels. Obviously, struggled with financial backing and stuff like that, but he's probably my favourite manager because of how I grew up watching him on TV and at games, and then obviously became manager. Obviously, in my opinion, the best Ipswich Town manager of all time is Bobby Robson. We'll never go back to those unprecedented times, or if we do, we'll be very, very fortunate to do so. But for me, it's Jim Magilton. And obviously, I do have a soft spot for Joe Royal as well. First manager I saw live, and George Burley as well. I remember seeing him on TV and stuff. And obviously, I live close to the Christchurch Park and the cinema about, so he's he's a legend as well. But for me, yeah, Jim Magilton, definitely.
The next question is a question that always get asked. Who is your favourite town player of all time and why? So
for me, it's Chef Kikuchi. That's who I obviously started watching when I first started going live. Scored a ton of goals. That swan dive. Sort of looked up him in a way when I was that age. Sort of him and Darren Bent up front together as well. Sort of immense. So yeah, I'd definitely class Chef Kikuchi as my favourite, no doubt. I do feel like if Luciano Chiavelli, if he hadn't have got injured like he did, he'd definitely have crept up in my favourites list, because there's a little story here. I used to sit down in a cupboard lower, and then with one game, I can't remember who it was against now, but obviously we had Ben Thatcher back then, and it went, I think it went out for a throw-in, and then I just heard Ben Thatcher say to Chiavelli, he said, to you, the sieve, just obviously take on the stig. So ever since then, and me and my dad still do it now to this day. If we send each other a text, it's like, how you doing, Siv, or something like that. So for me, yeah, little personal story for myself. I do feel like Chiavelli, if he hadn't got injured, he could have been a star for us. Once it's settled, of course, that's still my opinion. People might see differently. I know he would play like 9 games before he got injured. Was it 9 or was it 9 when he, something like that. So, but yeah, for me, Chef Kikuchi, this fun dive, just amazing. For me, it's the Carling Cup. Arsenal game, Tamas Friskin. Late on, that's my favourite game because, like, in terms of seeing them live, we haven't really had that many good games, especially recently anyway. But that's the game that I remember mostly. Arsenal coming to Portman Road, obviously, obviously the big team. We weren't expecting to get much from it. We just lost, was it 7-1, Chelsea, the Saturday before. So for Arsenal to come to us, beating 1-0, and I know it wasn't pretty. I know Cesc Fabregas likened it to us playing like rugby, didn't he? But yeah, that's the sort of biggest game I remember, sort of, especially in the past decade or just over for me, because it's a big game to win. Unfortunately, we couldn't go away from home and sort of win on aggregate, but that was a good night, definitely.
So, from favourite game you've seen live to favourite town goal, would you say Priskin is up there for your favourite town goal you've seen live, or is there a few others?
It is up there, but it's not my favourite. Unfortunately, I wasn't at Watford for the Chaplow goal, so I can't class that one. But my favourite goal is Noel Hunt. Obviously, to come off he didn't even have the name on the back of his shirt, and to come on, score the winner as late as he did, put us top of the league. That's my favourite Limbs moment as well, sort of away from home. I love Cheltenham's ground. I can't wait until we get to go there again. But to score there that late on, that's my favourite goal. Definitely. Obviously, yeah, like Priskin is up there, and there's a few others as well from memory. But for me, Noel Hunt, that moment, I wish I could have been there for Watford as well to experience that same kind of feeling. And then obviously I could compare the two. I know Chaplow's is over Hunt's at the moment, but yeah, for me it's Noel Hunt. And obviously he just signed as well as his debut, so just more reason to choose him.
So you mentioned that you like Valley, Cheltenham's home ground. What's your favourite away ground to visit?
Well, yeah, Cheltenham's up there, but it's not my favourite. I was a bit disappointed with Fleetwood because I was expecting a massive ground, being it was Highbury. I'm joking. I haven't really been to that many, really. It's only been the past couple of years that I've kind of started going to away grounds quite regularly. I know there's like people that I know, sort of, hi Ian, hi Rob, that they've been to loads and loads of away grounds, so they've probably got more to choose from than me. But for me, it's the Stadium of Light. Sort of like, it was massive ground. It was the difference of kind of how they were in League One and how different it was to go from there and then on to Wimbledon, like this horrible ground that we went to after that. So it kind of showed how lovely Sunderland was, if that makes sense. Stadium of Light, it was a massive ground, sort of a luxury in a way to what we're used to this season, or been used to this season. Probably won't count with this coronavirus stuff, but I think out of the ones I've been to, that's definitely the top.
So next question is all about kit. So we're both wearing very nice kits indeed, but what is your favourite Ipswich Town kit?
Mine, I've got two. So firstly is the Wembley. Here we go. The Wembley Green King t-shirt. Yeah, that's my favourite because it just represents the last time we were great for a start, but it's just awesome kit in my eyes. I can't remember the last time we had one that great. I know it represents promotion and everything. I think that's part of the reason why I like it so much. But that's one. And then the second one is the one that Ross has got on now. I've got here. So obviously, like the lace, very unique. It's a very unique kit, I think. And it's the one they wore when I was born. So the year I was born. So that's another reason why that's my sort of second favourite. I haven't got anyone on the back.
Okay.
It looked like I had.
Got Marshall.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got one of those ones.
Yeah.
Also, I do really like this kit. Obviously, I don't really remember it because I wasn't around. I don't really remember the kit that you got on either. But no, but that's definitely one of my favourites.
So as Town fans, we've had highs and the lows. What is your worst moment as a Town fan?
For me, I'd say it's quite recent actually. If you asked me a year ago, I would have said relegation would have been sort of positive for us in a way, because we all clapped off Lambert and the team when we got relegated that time against Birmingham. It was quite surreal really, and I'd have said back then, like a year ago, it doesn't matter. We'll probably come back up or have a decent season. That's what we did. So like a year ago, it would have been sort of mixed last season, but now it's Peterborough. back in January or February, I can't quite remember when now, the 4-1 loss, because that just showed how far we'd sunk. And under Evans, I give it to Evans, he's kept us afloat, but at the same time, we're at our lowest position now. Like I think we're 10th if the season carries on. At the moment, we're 7 points off playoffs. It's not looking good. I know we've got a second chance now if the season's null and void. If it carries on, then we'll be in League One next year, whatever happens, I think, to be honest. And the only advantage for us is at the moment now is if we carry on this season, we'll have Norwood back, we'll have KVY back, and we may go on late push and get the playoffs. But I can't see that happening. So that's the lowest point. That's the worst moment for me coming out of that game. I remember being on game day, being angry. I know Norris did what he did, and somehow he's still back on the team. Sort of a month later, he was back in. As you know, I'm not his biggest fan. So, Peterborough losing 4-1 is just the strength that they had and just how weak and pathetic we looked, especially in that second half. It's how we've deteriorated in 52 years. Sort of our highs and then down to our lowest again. So that's my worst moment as a Town fan.
So, from your worst Town moment to your best Town moment.
Oh, I've wanted to. I want to say the playoff final, but unfortunately I wasn't there, so I can't really say that. But obviously that was a good moment, especially sort of watching it on telly back then. That was an impressive moment. Obviously Arsenal, I cleared that. That was at the time we weren't having a really good season. Obviously Keane had just been sacked, so we just brought in Jewel. So I don't know, probably especially the 14-15 season as a whole, probably sort of my best time as a fan, I'd say. We started off well. I had the Charlton game, and then we were top of Boxing Day. Obviously slipped down a bit. We had to rely on Derby to actually finish in the playoffs, but then we had Norwich, we had Paul Anderson, and if Berra hadn't got himself sent off, I still say he would have got into the playoff final because we were immense that day at Norwich. As soon as we lost Berra, that was that, and it just killed us. So, the underachieving that we did that season is something to be proud of, I think. I know it's under Mick, and it was his last decent season he had with us. The one after was good, but that's the best one he had with us. Sort of took us to the heights that he could, and then started falling away. So, and it's been rubbish ever since. But so those probably my best moments. I can't really choose because there hasn't really been anything positive to it. We got Gio as well against Norwich, but he wasn't a player. So I'm hoping for better times. I was hoping they were going to come this year, but then obviously Lambert got in the way, and then thankfully COVID saved him.
Well, Thomas, thank you very much for joining me. When do you reckon? Do you think they will be behind closed doors? Your final note on current situation? Do you reckon? What's your thoughts on behind closed doors? Do you think the season will be finished?
I don't think it will. No, I mean they're talking about lockdown happening for 3 months now, sort of in the news the past couple of days. So I don't think we'll finish the season. If they do, then it has to be into the next season, isn't it? And it's all very weird and interesting times to see what's going to happen. I don't want to say interesting because it's scary times as well, but you know what I mean. It is intriguing to see what's going to happen with the seasons, because I know like the non-leagues, the women's, they've lost their season now, which in my opinion, if you're going to do that to them, you've got to do it to us, which is a shame, but to us it doesn't matter. Our season was over anyways. So in my eyes, I'd just null and void. It's a shame for Liverpool. It's a shame for Coventry. If it's one of those unnatural things that's just happened for some reason, and we just can't do enough about it. And like staying safe, lives are more important than football. So if we have to null and void the season, we have to null and void it. I'm not looking forward to the race to get Southend tickets again next year, if that's the case. And I'm hoping Wimbledon will move because I don't want to stand in that stand again. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, I'll be back with game day. You'll see me back then. I'll do some things over the summer if you want me to. So, we'll see what happens. Obviously, probably noticed that I've had a few tyre changes. The weather keeps changing in my back garden. Sun's out and then it's in, and then it's just gone completely now. I've got cloud, so that's why the jacket's on. So
cool. Well, thank you very much. And if you want to get involved, town fans, let me know via my email at ross.halls@archer.co.uk or Ross Media on Twitter, Ross Media UK. So let me know. Thank you.